fight analysis, post-fight analysis of David Benavidez versus David Morel. Gotta tell you, great fight. Great fight. Nothing bad to say about the fight. Great fight. Now, I'm gonna make a prediction, you guys. Later on, after I end this stream, and a few hours later, Canelo fans will come out of the rocks they've been hiding under, and they will say David Benavidez got exposed, and Canelo would beat David Benavidez. First of all, Canelo wouldn't fight neither one of those guys. First of all, just great fight. David Benavidez got dropped, and all it showed is that David Morel is a live dog, and he's a problem for anybody. He just didn't have the experience to take, basically to take the fight from David Benavidez. David Benavidez fought exactly how I thought he would fight. He would try to break him down using great body shots, using an unpredictable, unorthodox attack. One thing about David Benavidez, when you think he's gonna throw combinations, he'll throw a hard jab or he'll throw a body shot. Then he'll go upstairs. Then he'll throw an uppercut. He is very good at disguising his punches and confusing you. So it's kind of hard to kind of time David Benavidez. So what you have to do with David Benavidez, you don't want him to start getting off and having his way with you. So you gotta, you gotta hold him a little bit, tug him a little bit. And David Morrell had his moments. He threw some good uppercuts. He threw some nice counters. He threw body shots, but it just wasn't enough going into the second half of the fight. I had it. I had it even without the point being deducted and including the point deducted. I had it 8 rounds to 4 for David Benavidez. I thought, he landed the more telling and more meaningful shots. Like I said, Morel had his moments. It's just one of those fights where basically you could tell the experience came into play. Now, as far as David Morel goes, there's still going to be people that's not going to be in a hurry to get in the ring with him. Now, what I would like to see happen, David Morel gets the loser of, he gets the loser of the rematch with Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. And as a matter of fact, they could put that on the same card, as a matter of fact. So, let's just say if Arthur Beterbiev comes out on top, he fights David Morel. And then Dimitri Bivol, he fights, Arthur Beterbiev fights, David Benavidez. And then Dimitri Bivol, he fights David Morel on the same card, or vice versa. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. So now I'm really juiced up about what's gonna happen on February the 22nd. So we're approximately 3 weeks out. 3 weeks out from that fight. And by the way, I didn't know that Regis is going to be fighting on February the 15th versus Oscar Duarte in Anaheim, California. I thought this fight was supposed to be in Mexico. It's on February the 15th, which is Saturday. I won't be attending that fight because basically I will be on my way home from New York City because I'm in all likely going to cover Keyshawn Davis fight. But yeah, hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. Listen, Arthur Beterbiev, as long as he's fighting, he's dangerous for anybody. Now, what we did see that David Benavidez can be hurt, but he can get up and continue to fight. So I don't think he was on the verge of getting knocked out. It was just one of them. He got clipped, and sometimes the momentum of the punch pushes you down. He wasn't like hurt, but it was a knockdown. It was a legitimate knockdown. But I promise you guys, Canelo fans will come out the woodwork probably in a couple of hours and start talking about, see, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, Canelo ain't ducking David Benavidez. David Benavidez can't beat Canelo. Well, only one way to find out. It's something that made Canelo not want to get in the ring with David Benavidez, and basically you saw, Eddie Reynoso in attendance. He was in attendance. Saw Devin at the fight too. So Devin is at the fight. Hopefully, somebody from somebody at least from the people that I affiliate with can catch Devin Haney. But I did get I did get credential for that fight, and Miggs is out there covering the fight. So so now David Benavidez has to play the waiting game. David Benavidez is going to have to chill for a minute because David Benavidez got busted up. David Benavidez got busted up, so he got busted up. That's the worst I ever saw David Benavidez look after a fight. So he took some damage. He took some damage. David Morel, he took some damage too. Um, so with that being said, nah, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. David Benavidez won that fight. He clearly won that fight. But as far as that point getting taken away, that was crazy. And usually Thomas Taylor doesn't even get involved. He doesn't make himself part of the fight. I thought that was kind of weak. I mean, at the end of the day, it was like right as the bell was ringing. I don't think that warranted him to take a point from David Morrell. And I have to be completely honest, I wasn't feeling that. I was not feeling that fight. That I wasn't feeling that part of the fight where he took a point away. I was like, come on, man, you don't need to take a point away. I mean, come on. You basically offset the round. Hell yeah. They should. Hell yeah. They should. Well, they're not going to run it back. They're not going to run it back like immediately. That's a fight like basically, if both of these dudes go in the right direction, basically as they separate themselves from each other and basically both of these dudes, go on a winning streak, they win some meaningful fights. Yeah, then the fans will clamor for a rematch. I would be up for a rematch. I would be up for a rematch. I definitely would be up for a rematch. So we'll just have to see. Now, as far as the overall fight card go, the overall fight card was solid for the most part. Pitbull Cruz won. Pitbull Cruz, won a 10th round decision over Firo. Good fight. But I saw something with Pitbull Cruz. There were times where you could tell he was gassing a little bit, and I give him credit. He kept fighting, but a very skillful fighter would pick Pitbull apart. And Pitbull, I already know he's gonna eventually walk into something. Because sometimes when you swing so hard and you knock yourself forward or spin yourself swinging so hard, a person that can time you and got good counter, that could lead to trouble. And when I say that could lead to major trouble, well, I didn't see Carmel. I didn't even get to see him because I didn't see Moulton because that was like real early in the fight. I think he might have been the opening fight, so I didn't get to see him. So, but Pitbull Cruz, one thing about Pitbull Cruz, you do not gotta find him because he's gonna come straight to you and he's gonna present opportunity after opportunity to get punches off. But the problem is you're gonna have to be able to take his punches. One thing about Pitbull, he doesn't throw much of a jab. He doesn't throw much of a jab. So if you got a solid jab and you got a little pop to your jab, and then you can hit him, and then you can hit him with some combos, and you could turn him. That's what I'm saying. And somebody with good timing. That's why I understand why he did not want to fight somebody like Shakur Stevenson. And people are talking about a Tank rematch. I think with two healthy hands, I think Tank knocks Pitbull out. Tank was a one-hand fighter. I think Tank, if there's a rematch, he knocks Pitbull out. I think he knocks him senseless because the way he was the way he was swinging out of range. I'm telling you, Tank might would time him coming in and hit him with that uppercut, because Pitbull Cruz got wobbled a couple of times in that fight, and then I saw him kind of like running out of gas. But uh Firo didn't have enough. He didn't have enough pop. He got off a lot of punches, but he didn't have enough pop, to like really do some damage to him. He stung Pitbull a couple of times. It's a difference between having somebody stung versus having somebody hurt. Stung is like when you like, whoa, like your eyes pop, your eyes pop out a little bit, but then you shake it off. Hurt is when like you hurt, staggering. So, you know, but we'll see. He is scrappy. He is scrappy little short fighter. So he can't really box you. He can't really box you from like the middle of the ring. So like if you a boxer and you got pure skill, you will be able to outbox Pitbull Cruz. He's only effective if he mauls you, you know. Now, if he hits you with something in the middle of the ring that pushes you back, but as far as like, resetting, jumping in, throwing punches from angle, he's no good at that. That's why Jose Valenzuela was able to beat him. Punch placement and using angles. So, but with that being said, let's see what happens with Pitbull. He's only like 25, so he's very, very young. Very, very young. And Steve Fulton is all the way. Steve Fulton is all the way back. And it just goes to show you that one loss doesn't define you. I think to a certain degree. Now, I will say this for Jason Rosario. He might need to consider hanging it up because he doesn't have good punch resistance anymore. He's easily to hurt, but he's been in some wars now, and he just doesn't have good punch resistance. He's been knocked out at least like he's been knocked out a few times. He was viciously knocked out by Charlo, and he got knocked out a few other times. So he has to evaluate where he is as a boxer. Now he might be what you would call quote unquote done, but you never know. It's really up to him. It's really his decision. So we'll just have to see. But Cool Boy Steve, dominant performance. Dominant performance. Oh, Morel, Morel, he could hang his head up high. Just didn't have the experience. He did nothing wrong. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be people that still hesitate to get in the ring with him. He's only going to get better. He's going to get better. Yeah, but let me talk about the homie Steve Fulton. Great performance. He's completely rebound from the Inoue fight. And it was just a bad fight. He had all the odds stacked against him. He had to go overseas. He basically had to, he was the definite B side. But at the end of the day, he got paid a decent amount of money. He got paid like $3 million for that fight. Who knows? Maybe even more. So at the end of the day, he just, went out there. They got the fight over with. Unfortunately, he got pummeled. But, coming back off the Inoue loss, did look good in his last fight. But this performance was a complete rebound, bounce back. He looked great in this fight. Fought a phone booth fight with Brandon Figueroa the whole night. Pretty much. He fought pretty much 80% of the fight, on the ropes, and was very dominant. Like I said, I had him winning every round. I had him in a shutout. I had Fulton in a shutout. And I had to call them people out for that booing because that was just uncalled for. That was uncalled for, but it wasn't because the fight was boring. Even Abner Mares had to call bullshit when people was what I mean, what more do you want from the dude? I think people was just shocked how one-sided a fight it was. It was a one-sided fight. So it's no need for a trilogy. Now, I was worried about Steve Fulton because of how he looked in his last couple of fights, but he completely rebounded. He should just completely, he should just completely just wipe the Inoue fight out of mind, out of sound. Just forget that it happened and just move on. Inoue is a great fighter, but with the exception of, a 40-year-old Nonito Donaire and, Steve Fulton, a lot of people are just saying, hey, man, this dude is bum bashing. So we want to see him fight more meaningful fights. You can't be basically a so-called number one pound fighter fighting the type of dudes that he's fighting, because most of these dudes, we never heard of these dudes. So now people gonna say, oh, you're just hating on Inoue and all this kind of stuff. Whatever. I'm okay with that. Go ahead. I'm a hater. I'm this, I'm that. I'm just keeping it a buck. Inoue is a great fighter, but he's in his 30s now. He's like 31, 32. Okay. Time for you to take more risks. Okay, we want to see you against more credible opponents. But getting back to Steve Fulton, I'm happy for him. He looked very good under Bozy. And that's ironic. Bozy's son didn't look all that impressive in his last fight. So that just goes to show you. Sometimes it comes down to the person you training and what type of message you're using during training. So once again, great fight. Steve Fulton did his thing. Proud of the dude. Next time I see him, I'm going to give him his props. But yeah, he all the way back. He fought very well. That was a dominating performance. He dominated Brandon Figueroa. But anyway, you guys, just wanted to give y'all a quick post-fight analysis. Appreciate you guys. So we'll talk about this more later on. I'm going to do separate videos, but about to rest for a little bit before I go to the gym. But anyway, you guys, peace out.